The 76ers were also dealt in the trade deadline for the NBA, picking up Isaiah Cannon from the Houston Rockets, but gave away their top two scorers, K.J. McDaniels, who is now on Houston, and Michael Carter Williams, who is now on the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, bringing in Isaiah Cannon, he did great in the D-League for the Vipers. He didn't get a lot of minutes for the Houston Rockets. I think he'll do well with the 76ers. But why give up your top two scorers, the young guys on your team, if you were already trying to rebuild and you get rid of your rookie of the year, Michael Carter Williams? What's up with that, guys?
Sixers have been in constant remode since like 2006, so these moves do seem confusing, but it does show some benefit, I guess you can say. They get a top 5 pick that's protected by being the Lakers pick, so they'll probably have a good pick this season. And they also get a point guard who may not be comparable to MC Dub in terms of hype in the NBA, but he's definitely there in terms of potential. Both point guards definitely will have an impact on the new teams. I don't see the loss of Carter Williams that bad because they were able to replace him with Isaiah Cannon, and like you said, his increase in minutes is going to help him go bananas this season and prove that he actually earns and deserves a starting point guard role in the NBA. So it's going to be interesting to see how the 76ers finish this out. Right now, they're the 14th seed in the East, so this is not moves made for immediate effect. It's moves made for the future. So it's going to be fun watching Isaiah Cannon and Nerlens Noel play together for the remainder of the season. And it's going to be fun watching where Philly goes with this top pick that they're going to have. Well, two top picks that they're going to have this year. Maybe they pull a draft day deal and get Okafor from Duke and just have 6 bigs playing all at once.
One thing that Philadelphia is good at is making moves. They got really good young talent in their draft picks with Embiid, Nerlens Noel, K.J. McDaniels, Michael Carter Williams, so they know how to draft. Isaiah Cannon, I always thought, was underrated. He's 6 foot in a very, very strong body. In his last 2 games with Philadelphia, he got double figures, shot an average of 45% from the field. He can do better in his assist game with Philadelphia, but I definitely think that he can fill that starting role for the Philadelphia 76ers. Even though they're rebuilding again, even though they were already rebuilding, I think that they are still moving forward as a young team, and wish them the best of luck. Paul, do you have any comments on this?
Yeah, Justin, you're right. The 76ers have definitely been in rebuild mode for a very long time. It seemed ever since the 2001 NBA Finals run with Allen Iverson. I call it the year of the Iverson because he kind of swept through with the regular season MVP, All-Star Game MVP, and that spectacular 48 points in Game 1. They've never really kind of gotten on track. They've had some years where they've made the playoffs, and that's been a lot of stemming what has been with Kevin Ollie, Shavlik Randolph, John Salmons, Willie Green, Royal Ivy, and young Thaddeus Young. But they've never really been able to kind of land on their continuity. I think a lot of this season is just going to be audition tape and kind of see where they are and kind of get their feelers. But I do think they have a gem in Isaiah Cannon. I definitely think he's a guy that could be with their team for a few more years. But again, we'll see how this plays out. He's definitely going to get more minutes, as you guys have said. He's going to log more experience. He's going to get a lot more reps. I think that's good for him. I think he's a player that can match that. I think he's a tough guy. A lot of people may not have seen tape on him, but he's quick. He can get in the lane, kind of knife through, finish. I definitely think he's going to be a player. What should also be noted is that although they did give up one of their better players in Michael Carter Williams, I think in the NBA, sometimes you like guys, but you don't love them necessarily. And I see this with Portland. Sometimes they may like a guy, or they'll be high on him and think he's going to produce. But it's like, do we like him enough, or do we love him enough? Are we willing to kind of commit? I think Philly, in their mind, they were thinking there was another opportunity. There was something else they could get that they would more likely fall in love with. So it was very surprising to see Philadelphia give up Michael Carter Williams, a player I actually like to a degree, but it kind of makes sense. But I do think the majority of the season is a lot of guys are auditioning. I see a guy like Tony Roten. He could very well stay, but he could also be packing his bags and heading elsewhere. But again, they have Nerlens Noel, Joel Embiid. It's amazing that Jason Richardson is still on the team. He's, I guess, the oldest guy, and the second oldest would be Luke, Richard, and Bob Mute. But I think a lot of this is kind of getting a feelers of where they are. It definitely hurts for 76ers fans because this wasn't to say this was going to be the year, but it definitely is a little disheartening when you have to reboot after your reboot again. It's very frustrating, but it's going to take this Philly team to really get some traction. It's going to take them a while, but we'll keep our eyes on it.
The Philadelphia 76ers head coach said that Jason Richardson will not quietly drift into retirement, so it's good to see Jay Rich back on the court after successfully getting over knee surgery. Don't expect anything major or big from Jason Richardson's return or any improvement in the 76ers record, any drastic changes or anything. But it's good to see Jason Richardson get this opportunity to go out on his own terms, something that we would have loved to see for a lot of other players to get this opportunity. I wish all the best to him. I hope he gets out there and definitely put some highlight real material out there for us so some of these younger generations could see what we were able to see back when the Jay Rich was in the Warriors uniform. It would have been nice to see some other players get this opportunity too, but could understand the business behind the NBA and how a player who expects a certain dollar figure but is also injury prone and doesn't live up to what that dollar figure is represented to on the court. But it's good to see those players get this those type of players such as Jay Rich get those opportunities to finally go out on their career.
I think Jay Rich is just there to be a veteran presence to teach the young boys what to do, and when the 76ers are ready, then Jay Rich will announce retirement. But listeners, now it's your turn to tell us what you think about the 76ers moves. Do you believe that they should have been in the trade deadline, or should they have just kept Carter Williams, K.J. McDaniels, and just finish out their season? Comment below the video. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Thanks for listening to the P&K Podcast. Have a nice day, listeners.